People always ask, what's important today for SEO? And how has Google changed their algorithm? And what do I need to do to my site to grow traffic and future-proof against the next big update? Let's dig into the guiding principles of one of the two most significant widespread changes Google has made in the last couple of years, called EAT, and how they can either hurt or help your business. Then I'll share a few of the first things we look at to determine how well a site is leveraging EAT best practices, so you can do the same for your site. Now first, some background. Google makes changes to its formula frequently, hundreds of times per year, and most of these changes are small and never get noticed. But occasionally, Google releases a shakeup that creates major changes in rankings that are hard to miss. And we call these algorithm updates to make them sound important and scary. But really, I'm only being partially facetious. Because if you've ever been on the wrong end of one of these, you've felt the pain. And it's not an exaggeration to say some businesses don't survive at all. Now, when Google makes these updates, it's trying to correct a widespread issue and improve the quality of results it gives to searchers, which brings us to EAT. Google realized there were some websites in really important industries that were outstanding at SEO, but weren't always the most credible sources of information. For example, you might have a questionable products or information site that ranked number one on searches for leprosy. And part of the way they did it was by writing up a ton of really good information about leprosy, what it is, how to tell if you have it, here's the kicker, potential cures. So maybe at the end of an otherwise helpful article, it says something like, lost an arm to leprosy? Simply rub some CBD oil on your stump and your arm will grow back overnight. That's going to turn you into a Komodo dragon. And in many cases, those pages were ranking ahead of sites like WebMD, the Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins, organizations who have built up expertise, authority, and trustworthiness in the real world. And that's what EAT stands for. Google released an algorithm update typically referred to as MEDDIC at the end of 2018 to address the issue. And in the beginning, it impacted just industries that were perceived to have major life consequences. Think healthcare, finance, e-commerce, job searches. That's why you may hear another acronym, YMYL, or Your Money, Your Life. You see, Google was worried about giving bad results that could really hurt consumers, and they wanted to fix that. Not only is it the right thing to do, but it's critical for people to continue to use Google. And Google's been applying those same expertise, authority, and trustworthiness evaluations to other industries. So what do you need to do to react? Well, here are a few must-dos to start. Now make sure your contact information is prominent on all pages of your website. And this should seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many sites still don't do this. And if you have a blog, be sure to include an author box on each post that shares the author's credentials. And please, for goodness sake, just don't list the author as admin. Finally, build up your brand however you can, and PR is a great way to do so. The more your site is talked about on the web, the more you'll build up your trustworthiness. If you'd like help with your SEO, or even just an outside set of eyes to review your or your current agency's efforts, give us a call at 800-979-3177 or visit us at directom.com. And if you're just looking to further educate yourself, we have a webinar just for you. On Thursday, June 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern, we're presenting Now is the Time. Reevaluate, reimagine, and reinvent your digital marketing. We'll dig deeper into SEO and other digital marketing tactics and answer your questions directly. Sign up at directom.com/reinvent. And hope to see you there. And in the meantime, be generous with giving and accepting help.